Hi, it's Therese and I'm here for Altenew, and today I'm going to be colouring with Prismacolor pencils on the Parchment cardstock. Now this Parchment cardstock is kind of like a craft cardstock. It has that look about it, but it's a really good quality cardstock, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to see how the pencils go on this image. And I've chosen to stamp out the Happy Bloom image here just with some black ink. Now I can't even really say that like there's a texture on the cardstock, but maybe it's very subtle. So the pencils themselves, I decided not to blend them out with Gamsol or anything today, which when I'm using coloured cardstock I usually don't like to blend it out. I like the texture that the pencils and the coverage that the pencils give so much better without blending them out. So basically what I did was just use direct to paper with the pencils and blended them with each other. So what I do is I also have a piece of scrap paper off to the side. You can see it here, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this panel yet. It is cut to the same size as the front panel of my card, but I test my pencils off on the scrap piece of paper, and that way I know exactly what they're going to look like on my final image. So mostly I tend to either do my shading first or my highlight first, just to sort of work out, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I just look at the image and think, oh, that's where the light would hit, or that's where the shadow would be. So when I'm doing flowers in particular, I don't like them to look too uniform, so I don't always do all my shading around the edges and then have a light middle, because if you look at an image, that's not what you will generally see. It will be bouncing off different parts of the actual petals or leaves, so you'll find that it won't look so uniform. Like, even though that's a really good way to learn how to shade, it's not how shadows look like in real life. So, and you know what, it's a card, it doesn't really matter as long as you're having fun and you're colouring. That's what actually really matters. So I had heaps of fun colouring this image. So I will list all the colours of the pencils that I used today at the blog, and the links will be in the description down below. So I'll leave you with the colouring now, and I'll be back when all of this is done. So when I finish colouring, I do find the Prismacolor pencils in particular do have what they call a bloom, so they do cover some of the black outline areas a little bit, and you lose a bit of the crispness. So I get around that by just simply stamping my image with the Misty and then coming back in and restamping it. Plus it's quite a large image. I just love it. I didn't even have to do any masking, anything, all set, ready to go. A couple of the spots didn't stamp out perfectly, so a trick is just to come in with a black pen, a fine pen, and I just can fix those areas up really easily. But really no one's probably ever going to notice, it's just me being weird. So I did decide to do some partial fussy cutting here. I was originally just going to leave this as the front of the card, but I thought it needed something a little bit more. So I drew a line across the base. There isn't a coordinating die for this particular image. There is a coordinating die for the stamp set itself. And what's brilliant about that is you can actually layer up the flowers, and it has a few of the flower images repeated on the stamp set and in the die set, and that gives plenty of options as well. So I just simply drew a line and cut like a panel across the bottom of the image, and then fussy cut the remaining portion of the image with my scissors. And then I wasn't really sure where to go from there. I liked the way this looked. I just had to try a few different colors behind the actual image. It's a landscape, obviously it's a landscape style card that I'm doing. It's a side fold landscape card, and I tried a few options behind it, but in the end I thought that the dark grey cardstock looked the best, so I went with that. I'm just sticking that directly to the front of my card, and then I've used some pop dots to actually pop up the remaining panel, and that's pretty much my finished card for today. And I am obviously still on my holiday away, and I decided today to film outside and attached to the camper. So I thought I'd share my setup with you today, and that's why you saw a little bit of speckled light earlier in the photo. It was a very relaxing colouring day. So till next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye.